Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today we're going to try and fix this Xbox controller here. So this was sent in to me by a viewer called Shane. He doesn't want it back, he's already bought himself a replacement. But I took it on because I thought it was an interesting fault. So basically, he says that it doesn't work at all via USB, and when you just put batteries in, if you have a look, it only turns on for a split second and then turns itself off. But yet when you put USB and battery together, it does work, but the batteries get incredibly hot. So I thought that was an interesting one. So basically, he's already done the fault finding, he's already started the fault finding for me. Basically, this is the board that is faulty. So this is the good one here. When he shipped it to me, it was working fine. So I've put the faulty board back in here to, just to verify the fault. And I'm pleased with this board here because look, we haven't got any of the big main chips on it. So there's something on here which is causing the no power issue, and as well as that, it's causing the batteries to get hot when you use it via USB. So I think that's quite interesting. So let's take it apart and see what's happening. Now, although this looks like a more modern one, it isn't. The model number here is the model 1537. So I think it's one of the old ones there, and also you can't see any 3.5mm headphone jack. So this isn't a Bluetooth model. It's just had a white faceplate put on it. But you know what? It really does make it look a lot more modern, doesn't it? It looks quite nice in two-tone because it's got the white backs as well. So I think I will be leaving it as this rather than making it original. So let's take the board out, and I think on this one, because I've got the board right next to me here, well, what we'll first of all do is, let's see if we can see anything obvious on the board, and then we'll get measurements between here and here, and let's see if we can pinpoint what the problem is. So I'm hoping that this video is going to be slightly quicker than some of my videos, because I've done a lot of work on Xbox controllers now, so I definitely feel more confident than a completely new item. There we go. Right, so we don't have to worry about this because Shane's already proved the fault, which is good because that's normally the first thing that I do. So I'm going to get a little sticker just to write faulty on here because otherwise I'll forget which is which. We have the battery terminals here. So I suppose to begin with, let's get our meter and see if we have any reading difference just on the normal ohms test between the faulty one and the good one here. Right, not really. I wouldn't say that's the problem. So let's do what I said I was going to do. Let's zoom the camera right in and let's just follow the components around. Just have a look around the place just to see if I can see anything that's burnt out. Right, so the pins in there don't look to be crossed or anything, do they? No? I think that looks to be okay. Remember, I'm looking through a tiny viewfinder, which is only 2 and a bit inches. So if you're looking at it on a big screen, you're going to probably see stuff that I'm not going to see. Let's just scan side to side. No, I thought that might look a little bit burnt there, but I don't think it does. Right, let's check out these connectors because I've had these in the past where if the controller gets dropped, this kind of takes the brunt off the fall because one board hits against another board, and then there's tiny hairline cracks just above the connectors here. Don't know, they look okay, I think. Check this side here. Well, I think that side, there's nothing obvious, there's definitely nothing burnt. Let's try the other side. So there's a little sync button up here. That's the button that lights up, that's the Xbox button there. And I think these are the little sensors, because you used to be able to connect these controllers up to the Connects. You know, you could sync them via the Connect using these like IR things. Shoulder buttons. Well, it looks alright so far, doesn't it? Okay, I mean, as you can see, there's not a huge amount of components there. So let's check the capacitors to begin with, just see if we've got any shorts on them. So I've got my meter set to continuity, so you'll hear it beep when it goes together. I'm just going to use this here as my ground, and let's just go across some of the caps. There we go. All right. So do you remember that one that I said looks a little bit burnt? We got a short on it. So let's zoom in and show you that. Right, so have a look here. This one here, do you remember I thought it looked a little bit burnt on this side? Well, look, it's shorting. Both sides are shorting. It looks like there's a little diode next to it. Let's pop my meter to Diode Test. I'm just going to read out what it says on it. Right, so that's reading 0.24. And that's open, so that's that looks to be okay, doesn't it? So I think what we'll do is let's zoom out, let's put the meter back on continuity, and let's just make sure that the capacitor on the other board isn't shorting. No. Okay, so this side here shouldn't be shorting on the right hand side. So let's zoom in and let's just see if we can see where that right hand side goes to. Interestingly, I thought it was the left hand side that was burnt. Right, so the right hand side goes down to... Oh no, it doesn't. Where does the right hand side go to? So it's the right hand side that shouldn't be shorting, but I can't see it going anywhere. Unless, does it go to a via on the other side of the board maybe? It's coming up around here. Well, I don't think it's going to be any of them. Am I missing something? Nothing there. I thought it was connected to this pad here, but it's not. Let me just make sure that... Right, so we've got a full short there. Oh, sorry, it is connected to there. Why did I miss that a second ago? Right, so it's down here, so it goes up around to this here. Right, and then carries on round. Maybe it's just the maybe it is just the capacitor, and then it goes around this side, up around to here. Okay, well look, let's get some hot air. Let's take off that. Do you know what? I might just use some tweezers actually. I think it might be just as easy to use some tweezers. Let's do that instead. I'm just going to add a tiny bit of flux. Let's pop that one off. Now I have bought quite a few SMD capacitors, but none of them are this big. So if it was the size next to it here, I have those ones. I think the biggest size I've got is the I think it's the 0805. Yeah, 0805 I'm pretty sure is the biggest size I've got. Well, let's pop this off. There we go. And now let's measure that to see if it's testing a short. Excellent. So you can see the pads are not shorting, so that means the capacitor will be. Fantastic. Right, so it looks like that is the faulty component. So I don't know whether something else is causing it, and then when I put the new one in, whether the same thing will happen again, or maybe, I don't know, could there have been some sort of surge on the USB line, and could it have knocked out this capacitor? Not sure. Anyway, let's take one off. I've got an old board here. Basically, ages ago I bought a job lot off Xbox Spares, and because of that, it's enabled me to fix up all the other Xbox controllers that I've been fixing on that series, and I think I've done other videos since then as well. So I'm going to take one off here just to make sure that this isn't shorting. No, okay, so this is not shorting, so hopefully it will be okay. And I just want to double check that the board is the same. The same number down here anyway, 860655, and up here it says E128280. So what I'll do is I'm going to take this capacitor off, and just in case it is a common problem, I'm going to measure it on the SMD ruler to see what it is, and I'm also going to get a capacitance reading on it, and then if you need to buy one, if the same things happen to yours, then you won't have to have a spare board to take it off. Let's zoom in and let's try to get a reading on what it is. Right, so going by this, I think, and remember this is think because I'm not a professional, I think it is a 1206. I presume you can use that figure there as well. Is one in inches, one in millimeters or something? Would that be 3.2 across, 1.6 that way or something? I don't know. I'm sure I've been told before. Yeah, 1206, and now let's get a reading on that. A capacitance reading. So that looks to be 100 microfarad, doesn't it? Yeah, so 100 microfarad and a 1206, I believe. Well, let's pop it in and let's see if this board will work okay afterwards. Okay, I'm going to just put a little bit of flux on there, and then I'm going to use the soldering tweezers and also some normal tweezers to kind of hold it down. So let me pick it up first of all. Right, so let's get it in its place. Right, I think that's held. It's all burnt because I've got no control over these tweezers. Let's clean it up with IPA now and see what it looks like. No temperature control, I mean. Right, there it is. So it looks cleaner now. Let's just make sure it's definitely on those pads. Yeah, that looks good. So now let's just check for continuity again. So I'm on the USB port at the top. Perfect. And that's at the top there, so we know it's connecting. And now let's go to the top here, and that's connecting. Right, so let's pop this back together and let's see now if it's going to work. Right, before I clip the white bits on the edge here, let's just see if we now have power. Yes, we do. Excellent. Result. Right, I'm going to connect it up to my little laptop. We're using a USB cable just to make sure that all the buttons are working and things like the triggers, and see if there's any drift. But as far as the fault that Shane was talking about, I mean, there might be other faults, I don't know. Maybe this has got drift all over the place. But look, it was all caused just from that tiny capacitor that you can probably buy for pennies. Or Even if you were to buy a pack of 10 of them from eBay, I'm sure you would get them for like £1.50 or something like that. Yeah, okay, let's connect it up and see what it does. Right, so we're just testing it on here, which I'll show you in a minute, and all the buttons and the vibration does work fine, but I noticed it cut out on me. Now, it could be this lead here, but I don't remember having a problem with this, so you see it connects up, but watch this. It doesn't take much to disconnect it. Now that the camera, there you go, it's gone. I was going to say that it's not going to work now, but look, you can see it's gone there now, so, and it's back again. And gone. So it could be dirty contacts in here, or again it could be the lead. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the flux brush, I'm going to get some IPA, and I'm going to put it all in here to the contacts, and then I'm going to get a drop of deoxit and put it in there, and hopefully then that will make the connection nicer. So let's quickly do that now. Right, so use some IPA. It's 99.9% alcohol. I'm going to use a clean flux brush because I don't want a load of flux residue to get shoved in here. Check the batteries out. Right, let's get out the miracle stuff. The stuff that I mention in every other video, but I'm not sponsored by. Deoxit. Right, so I put that in there now. And I'm going to get the cable and put it in and out numerous times. That will fix the issue because I don't remember seeing any pins on the inside. Hopefully it's just oxidized, or maybe dirt's got in there or something. There we go. Right, let's try it now. Turns out it's my Xbox lead. I have had this since the very first Xbox that I had, and it has served me amazingly well. But I don't know, I need to look at it closely under the microscope. Maybe some of the pins have got flattened in there or something, or maybe this itself is dirty, but you think the deoxit would have sorted that out. But anyway, it wasn't the actual controller, because now look, if I was to go here, here, left, right, obviously I'm not going to strain it too much, but look, you can see it's not cutting out. And if you listen, you can hear buzzes working. And now let's go into test mode and zoom right in. The triggers and everything are perfect. So first we'll just quickly do the buttons. You can see them lighting up there as and when I press them. Bumpers. So hard to see because it lights up in a kind of peach colour. D-pad. But watch this, you can clearly see now that these here are working, and they're going all the way to 100%, which is nice. So there's no drift there at all. Yeah. It's all working, and the triggers as well. Right trigger, you can see goes up to 100%, and left trigger as well. So as far as I know, it seems to be working fine. So now let's just try it on the Xbox itself. Unplug it from there, hit the sync button, and hit the sync button here. There we go, synced up. So let's go to cancel there. Yeah, you can see it's working there. So that is it, all done. All I have to do is get a little cover for the battery compartment at the back here. You can get aftermarket ones on eBay for a couple of £. If you want to spend a bit more money, you can get the original ones with Xbox on. But I'm happy with the aftermarket ones, they fit perfectly. I loved that particular fix there because it is a proper component level fix. You can see a tiny little capacitor there that would cost pennies that renders this completely useless. It didn't do what it needed to do for something that's so easy to fix, and also quite easy to fault find as well. When I say easy, it was easy for me this time because remember, I've done 7 or 8 of these before. I knew to check the capacitors because I've already had a controller that had a faulty capacitor, so it's a very easy thing to check just using a multimeter and continuity. Obviously some fixes would be much harder, but there's probably loads of these out there that are faulty for that exact same issue, just that little capacitor there. Yes, a massive thanks to Shane for sending that out to me. I really, this to me is like the perfect fix because it's a real fix, but it doesn't take a whole day to do. Really enjoyed this one, and I hope you did too. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe for more Trying to Fix videos. Take care. Bye now.